Show up in your friendships. Show up in ways that you've done your soul work before you got there a little bit. Now, I don't mean that heavy-duty soul work necessarily. Maybe you've been journaling for 3 hours. That might be helpful. But at least know where you are. Because friendships at the best begin with, how are you? And it kind of helps if you mean it when you say it. It kind of helps if when you're asked that, you know where you are. So the truth be known, if you've just been running, then you won't be able to share who you are. So another step is to have that freedom to drop down. Those of you who have meditated know the difference between the monkey mind and the mind that's in our ADD cultures flitting all over the place, and the mind that has dropped down, where you can say, ah. Because it's when you connect out of that space that you begin to have the ability to find the realness, the authenticity of the other, and to share that with yourself. Let me know about the mirror neurons. Mirror neurons has to do with monkeys and eating. If you happen to be a monkey, and you happen to have one of these brain scan things on your head, scientists can tell exactly what part of your brain is activated by your eating, if you're a monkey. And they can see the patterns that are jumping up and down across the screen, that part of the brain. Well, this was all well and good. They were excited about this, and they kind of celebrated that they figured out what happens, what part of your brain gets activated by taste, culinary stuff. And they left the cap on, and then they discovered that suddenly the screen started jumping up and down again. They realized that this monkey over here with the cap on was watching this monkey over here eating. This is what we call mirror neurons. Highfalutin term for that which allows us to connect to each other and have empathy. It's the origin of our empathy. The fact that I can resonate inside with what might be going on you when you're eating, when you're telling me about your awful day, when you're telling me about a dream that you have, that requires the mirror neurons. And again, it requires you to drop down. It requires you to be present in a way where your mind's not flitting all over the place, but actually connected and feeling like, I get you. So, the next step is really learning the fine art of getting the other. Now, some of you know Harvey Hendricks is one of the writers of popular books on getting the love you want and that sort of thing. And he has an image that he has an exercise he begins most of his workshops with. And it can be with friends or whatever. But in those workshops, he will have 2 volunteers who are in a friendship, in a relationship, and he will ask them, one of you agrees to share something that's very important to you. May have been something happened, something I haven't gotten around to telling you, something I've always wanted you to know.